then you just have great energy. I was like, I like this guy. And yeah, and we started hanging out and, became friends. And, obviously, I like being able to, teach you and whoever else too. I definitely like, I like to try to help people as much as possible. So.
What's going on, brothers and sisters around the world? It's your boy, Terrell Humphrey, and welcome to Fair Use Knowledge. Here today, we got a special guest, my mentor, the man that showed me the ropes within real estate. Man, Mike, what's going on? How you doing?
Good, man. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. I had to get you on here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
No, I'm excited for this one.
Man, it's gonna be a great one.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great one. So, who are you? What do you do? And where are you from?
Yeah. So, you know a lot of my background, but from San Diego. That's how we met. And I do real estate design, realtor too. And I grew up in San Diego. It's kind of just typical like suburb life out here. Growing up. Did a lot of grew up in a construction kind of family. My dad had a civil engineering company. My uncle had, landscape architecture company. So just kind of did a lot of stuff for them growing up, and then started doing the whole wine cellar thing. So started designing and building custom wine cellars and saunas, and then from there, doing that for a long time, started to really dive into real estate from there. And then that's how me and you met, was through real estate investing. So
I agree.
I think that.
Can you see the light on? My bad. I didn't mean to interrupt you. All right, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, sir. All right, my bad.
No worries. I think I had like posted my number on like a wholesale hotline because like Pace Morby was like telling people, hey, work with this guy, and I had a bunch of people hit me up that day, but you were the one guy who I was kind of like, well, hey, Terrell is actually, here in San Diego, we can actually work together, go to projects, hang out and stuff. And then you just have great energy. I was like, I like this guy. And yeah, and we started hanging out and, became friends. And, obviously, I like being able to, teach you and whoever else too. I definitely like, I like to try to help people as much as possible. So yeah, it's my background. Hobbies and stuff, sports, being outdoors, that kind of stuff. But obviously real estate, I live and breathe real estate. So.
I agree, and you're a very ambitious human being. When I met you, I was like, yeah, cool people. The first day I met you, first day you came encounter, it was like, okay, I like his energy. He brought me here. He didn't have to do that. You didn't have to respond.
Yeah.
Do you remember how I contacted you?
Yeah. Yeah, you did. You texted me a video.
Yup.
Yeah. Yeah, and I thought that was cool because, the thing is too, like a lot of people, when they first reach out to you, like just for like help or anything, because like some of the real estate groups we're in, me and Steve get a lot of shout outs, so we have like a lot of people that hit us up, and there's some people that you gravitate towards, and you're like, hey, I could really work with this person and help them. Other people, and I always try to teach this or stress this to anyone. It's like other people just look at it for like what's in it for them, and they don't look at it like how they can add value to others, or how they just want to come in and learn and stuff like that. And that's like a huge thing. And I think we've talked about this before, but even if it's talking with like an investor in another state or an investor here, it's like always leading with value and seeing what you can do to help their business or yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, we all do it, right? We all think about ourselves.
Subconsciously, yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And no one's immune to that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I just, when me and you met, I was just like, yeah, I want to, I obviously was like, yeah, this guy's pretty cool. So
Mm-hmm.
let's start hanging out and getting it down to the project.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And when I reached out to you, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna send him a text message. I was like, nah, that's too average. It's too
Yeah.
people don't take that serious. Let me do something different to actually show you that I'm actually serious about what I'm talking about.
Right.
And you gave me the opportunity to come down to the property, to y'all. What was it, Loretto? Y'all let me see like the before, then after, like doing the process. And me alone seeing that, it taught me so much.
Yeah.
It taught me so much within like being just believing in yourself.
Right. Yeah, and that's the big thing is like anyone kind of who I network with or that's in our crew, I guess you could say, is I always want you guys to get like hands-on experience, and that's why I like Larita, I was always getting you down there like on Saturdays and stuff was because there was like real life examples of, hey, here's what we're looking at, here's what we have to consider, and you were there from kind of like start to finish through the whole thing. You got to see literally all the highs and lows. So,
yep.
And I think that kind of experience and being able to help people that way, like getting that hands-on experience is the most important thing you can do, right? Because you can sit there and watch YouTube videos all day, but until you're actually like getting out there and doing it, you're kind of just sitting there learning, right? But the best learning experience is taking action, and like failure is knowledge, right? You learn the most from your failures, and like I think that's like the big thing with like people that are ambitious, like us two, and something that's like super important. That a lot of people need to like realize, especially with entrepreneurship or whatever their goals are, because a lot of people will, I guess, kind of compare themselves to others, right? Let's use real estate for example. They see big wholesale check, and they're like comparing themselves to this person or that person, or they hearing someone like you gotta grind every day, and and what a lot of people don't say is like, hey, you're gonna have days where you don't feel like doing it, right? Or you're gonna have a week, you might have a whole month where you don't feel like doing it, and you just gotta stay consistent and grind out those days. But you also gotta make sure that you take care of yourself too. Like that's like one of the biggest things is because if you can't take care of yourself and give yourself time to do any certain things, like let's just say like working out for example, right? If you're just constantly working and not giving yourself time to work on your physical health and your mental health, you're gonna see that suffering in your goals. So I think that's like a really like big point I try to make to people is like make sure you give yourself time for yourself, and then also realize like you're not gonna be like on your game every single day, and you just gotta realize that, and you gotta move on, and you gotta I have a new day tomorrow. I'm gonna get done and do to the best of my abilities today what I can do. But you're not gonna have that feeling every day, right? So
I agree.
So yeah.
And it's crazy how. So I wanted to ask you before I ask you that question because I'm learning that myself to actually take time for myself to actually stop working as much.
Right.
How long did it take you to realize like, okay, boom, I need to relax a little bit. Everything that I'm doing is paying off, but I'm not taking time out for myself.
Right.
I'm not worrying about my mental health, my physique.
Right.
How long did it take you to realize something like that?
Yeah. We've talked about this. We're both athletes, right? Growing up. And I think that I got to a point kind of, a little backstory, right? So about maybe almost 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
I broke my collarbone snowboarding, right? And before that, I was really consistent working out and everything. And that was kind of right before me and Steve started the real estate investing company, right? And then when we started that, because I had the wine cellar, stuff going on, that, obviously was functioning at a high level, and still is, right? And then, on top of that, starting a real estate investing company, you just start to go into grind mode, right? And you don't, you're just like, I gotta do this, and you get so focused because, like, the type of people we are, right? You like, I mean, me and you are like, we work 6 days a week, 7 days a week, right? And the sometimes when you're in that mode, you're just like, I gotta keep getting stuff done. And kind of what I was seeing, like, in my relationships and stuff like that was, getting frustrated with things easier, or like, maybe like having like a longer stretch of like not feeling great, or like getting, down about things. And I made it a point, I was starting to put on a lot of weight and stuff like that. And I made it a point to like get back on track with my working out. And then once I started doing that, I started, seeing a shift back, like better mental health too. Because your physical health definitely, has a big factor in that.
Little do people know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And but the one thing, the way kind of that I got myself into like more consistency was really like scheduling and time blocking. That's like the biggest thing that I tell people, especially when they're like getting into entrepreneurship. And I'm not saying I have it all figured out, right? But I think what's really helped me is like time blocking. So I have a to-do list, right, for my businesses. I have a weekly to-do list. Then I make a daily to-do list on that weekly to-do list, just based off like, hey, here's what I want to focus on today. And then I stay consistent. So like in the mornings, like the first thing I do when I get up is I meditate. Right now I'm working on like becoming fluent in Spanish. So I do that afterwards. And then, I start my day, right? And then I try to like, obviously have my days where I work out, and I make it a point like, hey, even if you have a lot of stuff going on, like work out. And then, trying to like cut work off at a certain time of night. So some people probably think I'm crazy, but I'm like, okay, 9:30 at night, like during the week, is I don't work past 9:30 at night. Some people are like, probably think that's still crazy. You're working till 9:30 at night, but that's kind of the life of an entrepreneur, especially, as you're getting stuff going. But yeah, like time blocking and just making sure like you give yourself time, to hang out with your family and friends, because that's important too. You gotta be able to remove yourself from business sometimes, because if you don't, then you just get in this kind of like rat wheel of like thinking, and you're less productive then.
I agree. Big shout out to Steve, his partner. Big shout out to Sammy by Homes. Is right.
Sammy Homebuyers.
Sammy Homebuyers. Big shout out to y'all, because y'all have an organized system to where y'all just believe in each other. Y'all can rely on each other.
Yeah.
And the fact that you know that you have the time block, and the fact that you know that things have to get done, but they can get done tomorrow.
Right.
They don't have to get done today. They can just get done tomorrow. The time that we do have, we have to be productive. Okay, cool. That's no problem at all. But it don't have to get done today, day. Because there's always tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. When people be like, there's not tomorrow. Okay, well, you work your ass off. I'm not about to do that. I'm going to work when I need to, rest when I need to. And the fact that you're able to realize how you need to go about doing it, that's powerful, because it takes a lot to realize it.
Right.
You got a lot of business. You got a lot going on. And the fact that you want to elevate your life to the point to where you're financially free, or just enjoying life to the fullest, takes a lot to realize.
Yeah.
A lot to realize.
Yeah.
And the fact that you broke your collarbone, it was a dramatic effect that made you restructure the way you was thinking.
Yeah.
And that's what happens.
Yeah.
we go through a bad trauma or bad injury, because I tore my ACL, my meniscus, and taught me like to be grateful for the opportunities that we get,
Yeah.
be grateful for people that come into our lives.
Right.
Because I seen this one episode is about it's a season for when people come into your lives. Someone will stay extended period of time, but someone just leave, just like the season change.
Right, right.
And that's incredible that you're actually realizing more about yourself than anything. How old are you?
Yeah, so I'm 34 now.
Okay.
Yeah, I still feel like I'm in my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, to your point, I mean, you gotta be able to prioritize, right? And the kind of the way you do that, right, is you gotta think about what are my money making tasks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And figure out those are your most important tasks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whether I'm designing and putting a proposal together for a big, custom wine cellar in a big luxury house,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or, I'm putting together and underwriting a deal for real estate for a house that we're going to flip or maybe buy as a rental or maybe a wholesale. You gotta be able to like prioritize those tasks instead of just like getting like, for example, like when you're building your investor list for like wholesaling, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to make sure that you're on top of like staying consistent about reaching out to your buyers, finding the right buyers, building that list up, and I've caught myself sometimes being like, oh, I got to do this and this and this, but they're like administrative tasks that I could do at night.
Mm-hmm.
So I like force myself, like, hey, you're gonna hit the phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, me and Steve kind of what we do is our roles are very defined in our company.
Mm-hmm.
We're always trying to build our system, and it takes a lot. I mean, what people don't really realize is, it doesn't take. Some people might get lucky and they have the system dialed in after a year, but most people it takes like 3 to 5 years. And you gotta just be on that. But having your why you're doing this is big. And I think that helps you stay true to your goal, right? It helps you stay consistent. But it's crazy. Like ever since I've become like really entrepreneur driven, it kind of like makes me driven in a lot of other things in my life. Like for example, like I told you earlier, like if I'm learning Spanish, like I'm like I want to be fluent in Spanish, and I'm gonna do everything I can. I'm just gonna keep doing it and keep doing it. Or if I'm working out, like right, I want to, get as strong as I possibly can and get like have endurance, like